Many Christians stop pressing because at some point they fail. In order to stop failing, they stop moving forward. No forward, no failure. You understand what's happened? Now, in order for you to get up and to go and do the things God wants you to do, you'll have to conquer failure. You have to conquer. You're going to conquer it this morning. You're going to get over it. Failure in life is inevitable. We all experience it. It is going to happen. Now, failing and being a failure are two totally different things. All right, you need to understand this. Because you fail at something does not make you a failure. You have not failed until you quit. You understand this? God will often ask you to do something that you don't know anything about. It'll scare you. Oh, no, you're not. No, I don't know enough. Right. And how are you going to learn it? You're going to learn it the hard way, folks. I'm sorry, but there are things you're just going to learn them the hard way. Let me talk about me for a minute. When the Lord asked me to pastor, you asked people that were here, I didn't want this job. Do you know why? I didn't know how. I could preach, but I didn't know how to pastor a church. And I knew, listen, when I screw up in front of people. All right, let me finish reading. Failure is the seedbed of success. You will not succeed until you've learned a few things wrong. Did you know that the Wright brothers were not the guy that really should have been the first to fly? There was another gentleman that had more knowledge and more money than the Wright brothers did. And he built a catapult to throw the airplane out so it could fly. And the catapult destroyed the airplane. And the news media got on him and started ridiculing him. So he tried one more time. And the news media got on him again, and America started talking. What a buffoon. And he went, heck with it. He failed twice, and he quit. The Wright brothers didn't call the news media. They just went out and screwed up all by themselves. And then one day when they learned what they were doing, they went, come see. And the guy that knew more, that should have been the first, was not the first only because he stopped. There's a lot of things God wants to do in y'all. And the only thing stopping is you. You stopped. Because you messed up something. I want to read something. Naturally, I want to read all kinds of stuff. I'm always wanting to read you something. There's a story here in a book. I'm always reading stories in books. It says, on August the 6th, 1999, a Major League Baseball player stepped up to home plate in Montreal, and he made another out. 5,113th of his career. Now, that's a lot of striking out. Wouldn't you think? I mean, you'd think after a while, you just quit. That's a lot of trips to the batter box without a hit. Was the player discouraged? No. Did he think he failed or his team? No. Because earlier in the game, in the first plate appearance, that same player reached a milestone that only 21 other people in the history of baseball ever achieved. He hit his 3,000th hit. He was Tony Gwynn of the San Diego Padres. Now, I'm going to elaborate on this. I'm going to read some more, but I'm going to see, this is the point that I want to make to you. If you ever become the home run king, you will probably also be the strikeout king too. In order to become the best ball hitter, you're going to swing more, you're going to miss more than anyone else in the league. Now, let me say it another way. In order to hit the ball 3,000 times, he had to miss it 6. Now, I want you to think for a minute. This is a law. Every time you mess up, I want you to go, ha, ha, ha. I'm one step closer to victory. I just screwed up again. Because every time he struck out twice, he knew, next one's going to be a charm. Because I already know the odds are in my favor. But what happens to us is when we strike out, we sit down. We never get back up and hit the home run. Because we listen to people or we listen to our own conscience and we quit. Paul said, I'm pressing forward. You're not going to go forward this year unless you press. Nothing good is going to fall on your head. You're either going to go make it happen or it's not going to happen. Someone says, are we going to have a good year or a bad year? I don't know what you're going to have. I'm going to have a good one. I also know it's going to be a bad one. But I'm just going to make the good outweigh the bad, and we're not going to talk about the mistakes. We're not going to elaborate. We're not going to talk about the stupid things we did or the mistakes we made. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now that been the biggest hindrance that I had to get over. When Lisa and I built that log cabin, we lost over $100,000. I mean, probably 150, maybe, I don't know. We just, plus time, plus health, plus, you know what I did to keep that from happening again? I quit. Don't look at me like I just lost my mind. I did. I just decided to quit. On the inside. And you know what? That's when you fail. Because I thought, well, if I never do anything, I won't make that big of a stupid mistake again. So you do nothing. And then you're miserable because you're not doing anything. And you're sitting around going, and then you blame yourself and people for your past. Every time somebody talks to you, you go, last week, last year. And they're like, we don't want to hang around you anymore. Are y'all out there?